In some previous videos today, we discussed how Donald Trump is potentially screwed by the fact that up to 20 House Republicans are reportedly planning to either resign or not run for re-election ahead of the 2026 midterms. We also talked about a press conference in which Trump lashed out at a reporter about this question. Well, we did analysis on this, but what's interesting is clip is now going viral as reporters are leaving that presser. Trump can be heard on a hot mic complaining effectively about his own impotence and how he's not able to get anything done. And so that's really interesting. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, folks, so Trump seems to be admitting that he's in a much weaker position in terms of his relationship with Congress and the power of Congress than he would care to admit. Listen to this hot mic moment as reporters leave the meeting and the presser with Trump.
Hey, Deb, you know I cannot appoint anybody. Huh? I can't appoint anybody.
They're unplugged.
Everybody I've appointed, their time is expired. And then they're in default. And then we're losing weight.
So that was Donald Trump complaining about blue slips and his inability to appoint people congressionally, even though he has control of both chambers of Congress. And there's another story about this that we'll talk about in a separate video. It's just less important right now, but there's been like a really big development about his inability to appoint people. What Trump is talking about is how he is hemmed in by the fact that even his congressional majorities, particularly in the Senate, are unable to do the things he wants because of dissent and disorganization within the ranks of the Republican Party. They're united in their fear of Trump, and yet they're still not able to get things done. As we discussed in the video today announcing the, according to Republican lawmakers and aides, so the lawmakers themselves telling reporters that up to 20 House Republicans are potentially resigning or not seeking re-election. Well, part of the reason is that despite the nominal power at their disposal, given that Trump's in the White House, they're in the House, they're in the Senate, they have a sympathetic Supreme Court, they are still unable to get shit done because they just objectively suck at governing, right? Well, now we see why. Trump's also upset that he's not able to even so much as do the basic things like confirm appointees. Hey, I want this person for an executive role. I have allies in Congress. All they need to do is vote and make it happen. But Trump is picking such shitty candidates that even this MAGA Republican majority can't vote to confirm, the likes of Alina Habba. Again, more on her later. But I want to remind you of how Trump reacted when a reporter asked him a perfectly reasonable question about this report about 20 House Republicans leaving Congress.
I just have a quick question. There's at least 20 House Republicans who have either said they're going to retire or not run again. Do you
And
have any
Democrats
concerns
also.
about the
And Democrats
Right.
also.
Do you have
Well,
any
why don't you mention them? How many Democrats are going to retire? How many Democrats?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
But why don't you tell me the number of Democrats, too? You tell me about...
Are you concerned about the narrow margins? And
No, I'm not concerned. I think we're going to do well.
Among them, and,
We will have the
Nassau
greatest
County
economy.
Bruce Blakeman, who you know as well, is considering running for
We're going to have the
governor.
greatest economy in history. How many Democrats are retiring? How come you only know the Republicans but not the
Because I
Democrats?
came prepared to ask you a question about...
No, you're unprepared because you should know the Democrats. You're totally unprepared. Go ahead.
So listen, she's nervous, and I don't blame her. You know, this is the most powerful man in the world with a vindictive streak a mile wide, castigating her about a perfectly reasonable question. She didn't need to know the number of Democrats resigning because that's not as directly impactful. You have the majority barely. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene leaves in January, you'll have it by one vote, one. Super slim, no margin for error. It's your race to lose. It's your house to lose. And the odds are right now you're going to lose badly, even if those 20 lawmakers don't resign. So it's perfectly reasonable for her to say, this has nothing to do with the Democrats. This is about you and your party at the moment. Are you not concerned? But he gets defensive, rabidly defensive. Like Trump gets defensive a lot because he's a thin-skinned narcissist. But I'll be honest with you, when the reporter asked that question, I was surprised at how defensive he was about that. I could have expected, it's fake news. It's fake news. No, I'm not worried about it. Or he could have said, well, look, I don't know what's going on in the House. I mean, some people may resign, they may not. But you know what? If they do resign, if they seek to, go off and do other things, we'll just replace them with other America First, MAGA Republican candidates, so it'll be good. Like, he didn't even try to project confidence. He just betrayed his insecurity there on live TV in that presser. And by getting defensive with the reporter, he made it even that much more obvious. Well, again, the hot mic moment there that we played at the beginning adds additional context. He's complaining within earshot of the reporters that he can't get anything done. The reason he can't get anything done legislatively is because he sucks at governing. He's good at authoritarianism and trying to control the media. He's good at signing executive orders to try to, usurp the powers of Congress, but he's not actually good at using the system the way the system was intended to be used through legislation. He's not good, and even though he has every friggin' advantage, he's terrified about these Republican resignations. He's defensive about the reporting. He knows it's another sign, or perhaps it's either an indication of the weakness of his position heading into the midterms, or it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy and help create or further exacerbate that weakness. That's why he's panicking on that hot mic and complaining on that hot mic. Friend of the show, Tara Palmieri, who we interviewed, probably 6 or 7 months ago. She has her own channel. You should definitely check it out in a Substack as well. She interviewed a New York Times reporter about this report, courtesy of Puck, about these potential 20 resignations. We're not going to play the whole thing. You should definitely check it out on her channel, but I do want to play you this 58-second clip that she posted to social media.
It turns out controlling the House, the Senate, and the White House isn't very fun for House Republicans. According to Puck, 20 of them plan to announce their retirement in the upcoming weeks. They're divided, they're demoralized, they're wondering, what are we doing here if we're not passing any bills and we're in recess all the time? And frankly, they're really angry at Speaker Mike Johnson, who President Trump jokes is ineffective. He says he is both the speaker and the president. Yeah, this guy is just being pushed around all day long. I had a great conversation with New York Times reporter Annie Carney, who has been documenting the mutiny.
They feel like they're going to lose the House, and he's in charge of the House. So, Republican speakers generally have short lives. Like the minute you get elected, it's kind of a sand hourglass, like how much time you have till they like to eat their own. They get rid of their leaders fairly quickly.
There you go. Check it out. It's the Red Letter. It's on her Substack. And again, she's also on YouTube as well. Check it out. But the thing is, again, it just comes down to they genuinely suck at governing. I'm sorry that Mike Johnson is no Nancy Pelosi. Kevin McCarthy is no Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi was objectively superior. She was better. She had more talent. She got better results. They were not equals. And the thing is, it shouldn't be this way because you would think Republicans have a less ambitious agenda, generally speaking. They just want to pack the court with right-wing judges and cut taxes for rich people. Pretty friggin' simple, and certainly not nearly as multifaceted as the Democratic agenda, right? And yet the Democrats, for all their faults, are able to get more done legislatively by far than Republicans are, even though Republicans have more by way of advantage and fewer goals to achieve in the first place. And yet here they are in just total friggin' disarray. Again, this is being reported on or trending on social media. Hodge twins, which are two conservative brothers. They say Republicans, they're influencers. Republicans won't lose the midterms because of Candace Owens. They'll lose the midterms because deep state criminals have been held accountable. They'll lose because we're still sending our money to corrupt foreign countries. They'll lose because of America last traitors like Lindsey Graham are getting promoted. It's simple. Republicans will lose because they aren't listening to the people who voted for them. 13,000 likes, not bad. Let's see here. Matt Van Swole, who's this dipshit on Twitter. Again, you should make fun of him. Every morning I wake up to discover that someone from the Biden-Obama administration committed crimes. And every morning I wake up to find that a single person is being arrested for those crimes. I just want accountability. Probably because they're not actually committing crimes, asshole. You moron. You're so dumb. Let's see. Again, as the Twitter summary reports, supporters are complaining about Epstein files, COVID policies, January 6 events, continued aid. They criticize leaders like John Thune and Mike Johnson for not delivering. Early polls show Democrats ahead on congressional control, amplifying concerns as Republicans hold slim majorities after 2024 gains. And again, you have this report saying up to 20 House Republicans are going to be leaving Congress. Maybe not prematurely. Maybe they'll ride out the rest of their terms. But again, even if those are in safe Republican seats, remember, they will have to expend substantially more resources in terms of time, effort, energy, and money to keep those seats. And given Democrats are wildly overperforming in special elections, and 5 out of 5 of the last cycles where the party that overperforms in special elections is the party that wins the midterms, and Democrats are on track to do that, not that it can't change, it's also possible that Democrats will flip those otherwise safe Republican seats. Remember, Afton Bain, she went up against Matt Van Epps in the congressional 7th district of Tennessee, ruby red, very red, not blue, not purple, red advantage. It went for Trump by 22 points, and the Republican won it by single digits, high single digits, about 9 points, but that's a 13-point swing in the other direction. So you have to think, if these trends hold and you have a safe red seat that is, let's say, 13 points or less, it's very possible, potentially a coin flip, that a Democrat can snatch it up. So this is not good. That's why Trump is panicking on that hot mic. And I was glad to see this clip because it provided some additional further context about why he's so afraid. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.